actually part of their oath. And the surprising thing is not one could tell us what the rule of law was. Not one could actually explain what the Bill of Rights was. Not one could even explain what our human rights are. And that's asking many a place. And they're actually responsible for enforcing the law. So how do they enforce the law they can't even understand? They can't even explain. They're just told they need to do this, so they do it. I asked them about the accountability for our lockdown, the first 9 days being illegal. They said, enforcing it was actually in the best interest. Well, best interest versus their job doesn't cut it to me. The law is there for a reason. And when the police can't even understand the law or follow the law or put personal opinion into the law, then that's not been lawful. That's been this, a police state. And for me, I'm not moving to a police state. I'll fight every day of the week. I'm an ex-crip. I changed my ways for a better life, for freedom, for rights, for a better life for my daughter, who's now 6. And the more I look at all these new laws, they aren't directed at me. I'm coming up 50 this year, and I said this last week, and I'll keep repeating this one. The new laws are directed at our children. We're not allowed in our own school grounds where our kids are. I'm my daughter's guardian, legally. It's my job to protect her and make her safe. And they're telling me I'm not allowed to step foot on the school ground. Well, they're starting to push my buttons a bit too far. They're telling me if I don't have COVID, but my child has COVID, I have to fill out a form to be in that building there with her as she tests. Well, I've got one answer. Yeah, I'll go to that building, but I ain't pulling out a form. I'll be taking my youth straight through the door. Because I used to ram rage. If I can do it for crime, I can do it for my child. This is what they forget, is a lot of us fathers have history, and it goes back to our childhood trauma. They haven't dealt with stuff all throughout New Zealand. Why males are leading our suicide stats. It's because we don't talk about our trauma. And this is it. How are we meant to stand up when we ain't healed? We need to heal ourselves as a people. We need to get rid of this rudder around childhood trauma, sexual abuse. All these rudder subjects need to go, because that's what's costing our lives. The loss of hope at the moment through this COVID is a big cover-up. They released our suicide stats. Every week I'm getting contacted by families, because that's what I do day to day. I volunteer my time, and I have a youth that I open to families to share their grief and write their loved one who's lost their life to suicide. The common denominator on that youth is trauma. Every name on that youth, that's the common denominator. Trauma, loss of hope. What's this COVID Public Health Response Act doing? Taking away the hope of the people. Taking away the rights of the people. Setting them up to go and hang themselves off one of these trees as a statement. Me for one, I'm over our suicide rates, and I'm over the fact they keep on lying to us about them. Fact number one, police aren't allowed to talk about their stats, and they are running the highest in the country nearly. Why aren't they allowed to talk about their suicide stats? Because the government don't want us to know that our police get 5 counselling sessions. You want to know why the police don't really care? They've got that much stress on their own plate. They're the ones taking down the people who have lost their lives to suicide. They're the ones cleaning up the mess. They're the ones telling the families. But they're doing it without support. they get 5 free counselling sessions to deal with it. And then we expect them to be out on the roads and that around our country upholding law impartially. They can't. They're damaged goods. And we've allowed this to happen as a people. The childhood trauma we've allowed to happen as a people because we haven't been honest with ourselves. We haven't been at that big long look at ourselves and say, why do I get triggered from a guy over there interrupting what we're doing? We're here for freedom of speech. He's got his right to have his freedom of speech. We might not like it, but that's what we're here for, to stand up for our rights and freedoms. So we need to respect others' rights and freedoms. They can heckle us, they can call us names, they can even call us idiots. I don't care, because I'm secure with who I am. Now that's the stage these protests need to get to, is be secure in yourself. We don't need to ridicule others for their beliefs. That's their right, that's their freedom. That's why we're here. So don't disrespect others. And the thing is, I hear them calling out katangi to people. Well actually, I'm tangata whenua, fully. I'm Moriori, I'm Maori, I'm Irish, I'm English. That's tangata whenua because we're all immigrants. I don't care who you are, where you're from. If you've made New Zealand your home, that's what it boils down to. It's your home. You have a right to freedom. You have a right to belief. You have a right to expression. The thing is, do it another half. Start healing yourselves by looking at yourselves. And then we've got an effective protest, because we won't worry about people that are trying to disrupt it. We will stay focused on us and what we believe in. And that's my message for people today. Look at yourself. If you get triggered by people doing disturbances, take a deep breath and go, why? Why am I triggered? Why am I responding like this? They had their right to speak just like we do. Walk another half. That's why our founding group was New Zealand Bill of Rights. Fight for New Zealand Bill of Rights. Our founding page is Other Half by Aotearoa. Love for New Zealand. Walk in it, show it, and show the love to the people that hate us. They need it more. Other Half Nui people, and enjoy your day.
Thanks, John. And that's what this is all about today, folks. This is about protecting our New Zealand rights. That includes freedom of speech, the freedom to hold different views and opinions, even if we disagree. We're fighting for the ability to have the ability to disagree with each other. And in the spirit of that very thing, we're going to ask Mike to come and join us. He's got some different ideas. So Mike's over here, so in the spirit of freedom of speech, this is what we're here about. Mike, would you come on now, bro? Come and give us your expression, bro, because that's what we're about, protecting your freedom of speech, and I think you're in agreement with that too, Mike.